Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just finished watching the latest season of Baki. This is the season where Baki Hanma faces a giant caveman known as Pickle. Basically, Pickle is a caveman who fought dinosaurs in his spare time, can destroy mecha suits, and also has fangs that would rival even the chompers of Jack Hanma. While he can't understand language, he knows how to fight like no one's business, which is why he immediately got the attention of some of the best fighters in the series, including Retsu, Katsumi Orochi, and Jack Hanma. So the series basically just gets more and more ridiculous with every single arc that happens in it, but at the same time, there's a joy in its own ridiculousness, especially when it comes to Pickle's first fight against Retsu, as we've seen Retsu throughout the entire series as a representation of 4,000 years of ancient kung fu fighting. But he has to reconcile with the fact that even that isn't enough when you are facing someone who is so strong and is based in a reality that was millions of years in the past, to the point where he sees eating his opponents as respecting their efforts, and where he thinks absolutely nothing of committing atrocities because, simply put, he's just trying to survive and he doesn't understand this modern world at all. Granted, it also shows that the series has no problem doing a certain scene from the manga that thankfully gets cut down quite a bit in the anime that could offend a lot of people, but then again, Baki's never been afraid to be completely audacious or to do things that stretch the levels of good taste for the sake of entertainment. And the same goes for this season. I'm just glad they didn't linger on a certain early scene very long, and it focuses mainly on the things that people are there for. To watch badass men do badass things to each other, and to shrug off insane injuries that would end the careers of so many other people. And when it comes to crazy fighting techniques, this season's got plenty of them. From Retsu using every single one of his kung fu techniques to no avail, to Katsumi Orochi destroying his arm while trying to break the sound barrier with it, to Jack Hanma engaging in a bite off with Pickle. And of course, there's the final battle he has with Baki himself. I always kind of saw Pickle as the final challenge that Baki had to face before he felt he was worthy of facing Yujiro. Especially considering I think a fight between Pickle versus Yujiro or Pickle versus Biscuit Oliver would be a really great fight too. But they pull out all the stops for Baki's fight with Pickle. There's transformations, there's ridiculous ways of the fighters getting to know each other, there's Baki posing like a bunch of animals to try and intimidate Pickle. There's several hits to Pickle's crotch that somehow he keeps getting back up from. It's as ridiculous as you'd expect the series to be, but at the same time, it's the kind of series that only could come from Keisuke Itagaki. He just writes his fights in a very specific way, from the colorful metaphors that he uses for every single fighting technique to the specific way that he shows impact without going for motion blur in his attacks. That's not only in his manga but is replicated very well in the anime. To the fact that every single fighter views fighting as a way to get to know each other and also as a way to understand other people, even those who don't even have that concept of language, like Pickle. In many respects, even for Baki, Pickle just comes across as an anomaly. Someone who shouldn't work in a series like this, but who somehow does. And even though he can't say a freaking word, you can get how he feels, even with the narrator having to explain it all. But I feel like in some cases it could be you could understand it through just watching his facial expressions or just watching how he moves and the way he acts. But of course, this isn't the end of the Baki saga. We still have the fight between Yujiro and Baki. How will it go? Well, we'll have to wait a month to find out. But as far as this one goes, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. See you next time.